Hi, I'm Kim Dykstra, Communications Director for the Town of Breckenridge. Welcome to 2016 here at the Town of Breckenridge. We've got a lot of things going on, so please check us out on our website or on Facebook and Twitter. Keep up with what's going on with us here at the Town of Breckenridge. There's meeting minutes, there's notices, there's all sorts of agendas and things like that based on our website, as well as notices on our Facebook for Town of Breckenridge, as well as Twitter. So we hope you'll keep up with us. As we open up 2016, we have a new town manager. His name is Rick Holman, and actually he was the assistant town manager for the last 3.5 years, and prior to that was our Breckenridge police chief. So he's no stranger, and he's no new person to our organization or our community, and we look forward to hearing from Rick. Is the January 12th town council meeting. So here we have Rick Holman. First of all, congratulations on your first meeting, and congratulations on being Breckenridge town manager. We're very excited about you coming on board after 15 years here at the town of Breckenridge. It's, your first meeting was January 12th, and we're here to talk about the highlights.
Great, and thank you for recognizing that. Yeah. Certainly not my first meeting with the council, but it was my first meeting in my official capacity, and John recognized that, and I was very grateful, and I'm very happy to be in this role and looking forward to working with this council, future councils, and we have a lot of great work ahead of us.
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of topics to be discussed. The way we like to start off 2016 or any year is we like to do this grants reception for the nonprofits. And the town has an annual grant program that we are able to give dollars to the nonprofits. And we actually gave out almost $300,000, and then actually a little bit while later we gave another $50,000 away to FERC. But it's always a good feeling that the council's able to do. So it was great fun to be able to kick that off.
It was, and I know that the town council really enjoys that interaction. And as I was sitting there observing all of those nonprofits and listening to the great work that they do in our community, you just can't help but see the passion that they bring. And it takes a special person to really, because none of them are certainly going to get rich doing this job. And it's really about a passion and a drive and a love that they have, and they provide a great service, and you know, we couldn't do a lot of what we do without other people in the community to provide those services, and so they fill a void, and it's great that the town recognizes and supports that. And one of the things we noticed last night, and the council even commented on it, was it provided some great opportunities for this nonprofit to understand, oh, I didn't realize you're doing that work. I'll be contacting you later this week to see if we can come together. Yeah. So it was a good night. It's a great way to kick it off. A lot of energy in the room. Yeah,
it was great. Yeah. So thank you. And then on to the legislative review. Sort of the first piece of business that the town council is tackling for 2016 is adding marijuana licensing to our current liquor licensing authority, which we've had established since, I think, 2006. And the marijuana licensing has been going on since 2009, and it's basically been handled by the town manager and town staff at this point. But as this transition, and as we're kind of easing our way and understanding more of what the marijuana is, the council made a decision that they'd like to add this into the liquor licensing authority's position.
You're correct, and the council has been talking about this for some time, and you know, it's important for our community to know that this is something the council takes very seriously, and we've put hundreds of hours into marijuana regulations, laws, looking at protocol guidelines, and you know, how we continue to monitor, license, regulate marijuana was an issue that we knew at some point we were going to address, and we thought it was a very good place to land that responsibility with our current liquor licensing authority. It's important for people to understand the distinction in the roles of that, and the authority does not make the laws. Those laws, that authority still lies with the town council. They They're the ones that enact the laws. So there are the local laws, and then there's state laws that govern marijuana licensing and rules. All the authority would do is regulate, hold people accountable to following those laws, license renewal. Currently, we have a moratorium on marijuana licenses, so there is no new marijuana license that can be issued. If this goes over to a new licensing authority, they can't change that rule. That still only resides with the town council. But it does allow us to develop an expertise within a body of community people, so we have a more transparent, broader view of those issues relative not only to alcohol, but also now to marijuana licensing. And it does have to occur by ordinance, and so the council did pass on first reading the ordinance that would create this new liquor and marijuana licensing authority. And if the public has questions or concerns, I would encourage them to be at the January 26th meeting, where there will be the second and final reading on this.
Great, great. And then we also had an IGA with the Summit County, and this is another very important issue for the council. It's basically an intergovernmental agreement with Summit County government to put together a new housing project called Huron Landing. And what are some of the major points of that intergovernmental agreement?
Well, anybody that's been watching Breck Buzz or listening or reading the paper obviously knows that housing is at a crisis level in Breckenridge, Summit County, and also in other areas of the state. And they've heard us talk about projects that we're working on. And Huron Landing is a location up on County Road 450 where the current recycling center is, just down the road from 7-Eleven. That recycle center at the end of January is relocating to its new home out at Coin Valley Road, Coin Valley and Airport at the corner there. And that frees up that land that has been incorporated into the town limits. And we are going to build jointly with the county a 26-unit, 2-bedroom, 4-rent apartments there. So this IGA really establishes the guidelines for how we will select contractors, how we will manage the construction, how we will finance and pay for the construction. And it really, in a nutshell, it's a 50-50 agreement between the town and the county to enter into this venture, jointly build these things, co-own these, but really make this amenity available to the people that need rental housing in Summit County.
And it is really a great example of two government entities working together for our community.
Yeah, we're excited.
And at typically the typically the first meeting of each month, the town gets a financial review. And so these were the financials from November. We're always a couple of months behind because of getting returns back from the state. And so the town council was able to look at the financials for basically November. And
well, we would have looked at November financials at the second meeting in December, but since that's Christmas week, we typically always cancel that second meeting in December. So this meeting we looked at those November financials, and glad to report that the trend continues. This is one area where you like to sound like a broken record and say the same thing, that we're seeing increases, each month over prior year.
In revenues.
In revenues, yes. And retail continues to be very strong, and that's important. And we've heard before that our retail somewhat lags behind, and we have double-digit increases and percentage increases from November 2014. So that's great. And across all factors that we look on our excise tax and sales tax, whether it's real estate transfer, we've been very pleased, and so that's good. I mean, it allows us the opportunity to do many of the things that we talk about with all of you on a regular basis. Whether it's housing, whether it's reinvesting money into the community in the form of our 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 creative arts that we've done, and all the different capital projects that we do. That's all made possible because of we are in good economic times right now.
Exactly, and it's a great trend. Another trend that we've been seeing, we have a number of volunteer positions for a number of different committees and commissions that we have. For example, last month, I believe we had 7 people apply for one position. We have the Childcare the Childcare Advisory Committee, no longer task force, an actual standing committee that had some openings that are coming up in January. And so we actually had 6 people that the council interviewed for those positions. And it's really exciting to see the community come out and want to be a part of our committees and commissions. And what was the council's kind of movement towards for the child care?
Well, as you can imagine, the council is always excited when we have that many people that submit their name as for a candidacy on any type of vacancy that we have. And you're correct. We were going to interview childcare people in the first part of December, but we had 3 different committees that we had to fill vacancies on, and we would have had, I believe it was over 25 something interviews, and we could not do those all in one day. That's the level of interest that we're seeing and people wanting to get involved within your community. And so it was great. We had 6 people we interviewed. The good news is there were lots of people. The second good news is they were able to appoint up to 5 of those positions. So the majority of those people were selected to get involved, bring some new energy, some diversity to our current child care committee. There's obviously we have some stability in funding. We just as we were talking about with the good revenues, and some of that allows us to put a little money back away for child care to help stabilize those scholarships that we provide for child care assistance for a couple of years. But this committee really needs to continue to look at what is the long-term sustainable funding stream if we are going to help have a strong child care assistance program in Breckenridge. And so that's something they have to do. I think some of the people that we saw interviewed have a lot of background and knowledge, and they bring a real passion and energy to this group that is going to help move that along over the course of the next year.
That's exciting. Yeah. And kind of in between, the council likes to have dinner meetings or joint meetings that they like to have with other organizations and other entities in our community that they work very closely with. Prime example, the Breckenridge Ski Resort. We're very much in partnership with them for our community. And so at the January 12th meeting, they actually had a wonderful joint meeting with the senior leaders from the Breckenridge Ski Resort. A lot of issues that we went over. We weren't able to get to every single one of them, but a nice coming together to talk about a number of issues. And what were some of the highlights of that?
Well, this was a first, and the council typically, these boards and these commissions that are officially appointed as part of the council, council typically tries to meet with them at least annually in some sort of a joint meeting, usually over dinner in between our work and regular sessions. And but they had never had that meeting with kind of the senior management of the ski area before. And I think both sides recognized that we had some challenges this past year, and certainly so could even be adversarial at times as we were going through our lift ticket tax, and ultimately we came together and came to an agreement, but it challenged both sides. And I think we, along with the ski area, realized we need to start fresh. Let's work together. We're only as successful as each other is, and continue to be maintain a good working relationship. And so the ski area actually approached the town about, we would like to have a joint meeting with you like you do with other partnership organizations, and try to do this on at least a couple times a year. And so that was our first effort, and I think it went well. And it was a little bit more of a kind of an opening introduction and who was in the room, and understanding kind of what's you know, the vision of the ski area and what initiatives they're working on right now, and highlighted a few things that are important for the council. And obviously we spend time talking about our parking and transportation comprehensive plan that we're currently working on, and the ski area is part of that, because that's a major topic of discussion. So it was only an hour, it went quickly, but it was a good first step.
Yep, great. It was them to be able to share with us what their vision is for them internally, and us to be able to do some things. Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Rick. Look forward to more of the Rick and Kim show.
All right, thank you.